Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I thought I'd do this as a sort of just like I guess trying to get to know the candidates a little bit better that are running for president on the Republican side. Because yeah, I mean, we've got a crowded primary right now. There's a lot of candidates running. Most of them have little name recognition or seem totally pointless, but we're going to look at every single one of these candidates' campaign websites. Some of these websites are decent. Some of them suck. We're going to look at each one of them and we're going to evaluate the extent to which this is actually a good campaign website and whether or not these people are getting their message across for people who want to see policy. Because, it's really important that you actually put policy on your campaign website. And some of these people don't seem to get that. So we're going to look at every single one of these websites in order from alphabetical. So starting with Doug Burgum and ending with Donald Trump. And yeah, well, let's just get right into it. Doug Burgum's website, it does have this little ticker thing up here, which I like. However, we're not here to evaluate tickers or anything like that. This is the page. It says a new leader for a changing economy. Yeah, okay, sure, fine. Story, he tells a little bit about himself, blah, 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 blah. We don't really care. We want you to be a good president. The timeline. Okay. This is just, I don't know, nobody cares. Then we get to this part, and this is the only substantive thing on Doug Burgum's website, basically. And that is where he says Doug Burgum is a governor and a business leader. His top priorities, the economy, energy, and national security. Make no mistake, Doug's a conservative on other important issues too, but he knows if we get the economy, energy, and national security right, we will unlock the best of America and improve every American life. Okay, that sounds good, but and we know, and sure, I give him credit for this. We do know what his focuses are. He wants the economy to be better, he wants energy to be improved, and national security to be strengthened. That's all good, except he's not telling us how he's going to do that. And if we just keep going on, he has his media section. You can just go to these sites, or you can shop his campaign. I bet you he hasn't sold a single thing yet. This guy needs so much name recognition right now. If this guy wants to make the debate stage, he's gonna have to work his butt off. He's gonna have to go out there and get a name for himself because Vivek Ramaswamy is polling better than this guy, and Vivek Ramaswamy is literally a no-name from Ohio, okay, who's just is known for being anti-woke. If this guy wants to get anywhere in the campaign, he's gonna need to put a little bit more on his website than just that. So that's Doug Burgum's campaign website. Personally, this website honestly needs a lot of improvement. He needs to have an issues page, and there's none of that. It's just saying I'm going to focus on energy, and that's really all. So, yeah, need a little bit more substance, Doug. Try better next time. We're going to move on to Chris Christie next, and this site sucks. I'm not even saying this because I don't like Christie, because I think Chris Christie's campaign sucks overall. Not even because he's anti-Trump, just because he has no policy at all. Like, there's nothing substantial he actually talks about. I watched part of his New Hampshire town hall the other day. All this guy was talking about was like history and stuff. Like, we went through this great revolution to get to where we are. I don't know. It's just kind of like cringy. Like, I know our history is important and it's part of what shapes us as a country, but do you really have to like go on and on about it for like this one big speech and then not talk any policy? Like this guy, I just don't see him having really any solutions to the issues America's facing. And this campaign website pretty much confirms that. He has a way to donate, not that anybody will. He has his little campaign slogan. Yeah, like anybody cares. You can sign up. Not that anyone is actually going to. And here's a video of his kickoff event. You scroll down and oops, looks like we've reached the end. Yeah. This guy has no issues page, nothing. There's no reason on this for anybody to vote for him except he's anti-Trump. Okay? There's no reason. It's actually funny. He's like, "Come at me, Trump. Come at me. The truth matters." And then he gives nothing except for that. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. If Chris Christie, if that poll that shows Chris Christie polling at 5% from NBC is accurate, I don't know what I'll do. Because this guy cracking 5% nationwide, I don't know. I guess it must be just like Liz Cheney-esque people that are supporting him. Because he's literally doing nothing except hating on Trump without really any policy. There's absolutely nothing to be seen on this campaign website at all. Absolutely nothing. Okay? So, yeah, that's really just Chris Christie's campaign website. Nothing of substance, nothing to look at. This is DeSantis' website, and kind of the same story. Really not there much here. He's got some videos up. He's got interviews. And yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to watch all these videos, it's fine, but like, where's the issues page, man? This is partly why people are disappointed in DeSantis. He's really just saying stuff about woke without really actually defining it or doing anything like that. I mean, you might have a point, DeSantis, or you might not, but like, you got to actually define what you're talking about. You can go to different tabs. Here's the join. You can join this guy's campaign. You can volunteer. You can shop. But for real, there's just nothing on this website. You can like look at events. I guess Ron DeSantis, I guess you could go to. He does have a little bit about policy here and there on tax relief, ESG prohibitions, reforms reducing the cost of medications, tough on crime. You know, he has stuff like that. But when it comes to actually saying what he's going to do as president, there's not a whole lot of that. He's just basically boasting about his accomplishments, which is fine because you got to have a good record to run on. But this is kind of. And then he talks about like flipping Miami-Dade County, like anyone cares about that. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's okay to like talk about your record, but let's talk a little bit more about what you're going to do with the problems America is currently facing. And he's not really doing that. So I got to say, this isn't the very most impressive campaign website. However, it beats Chris Christie's, definitely. In fact, I'm pretty sure Chris Christie's is the worst one I've seen, but I haven't looked at all these yet. So Larry Elder. Yeah. Let's scroll down. Why I'm running. America's in decline, but this decline is not inevitable. It is a choice made by detached and cynical politicians. As a California resident, I've seen firsthand how decades of Democrat rule have turned the Golden State for many into an unaffordable dystopia. I won't let them do the same to America. We can enter a new American golden age, but we must choose a leader who can bring us there. That's why I'm running for president. Okay, I'm pretty vague, but you know, everybody's pretty vague at times, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's go down to the issues, shall we? Crime, soft on crime approaches have been a disaster. So he's talking about crime cities that, you know, the policies there haven't been working. And he's talking about public safety. That's good. But he's not really being clear on what he's actually going to do, which, you know, little bit questionable, but hey, he's taking a stance on issues. So we got that. School choice. This is basically generic Republican talking point. He's basically saying we need school choice. We need a school that meets the children's educational needs. Yeah, pretty obvious there. Racial harmony. Okay, this is all anti-CRT. Um, and about how it's anti-American dream. Sure, you can make the argument for that. Is that really that mainstream? Maybe not. Crush inflation. Of course, he's going to talk about reckless spending because that's what every single Republican does. Not that it's wrong, but, you know, we get kind of tired of it. However, he's got literally nothing on how he's going to crush inflation. So, I mean, could do better there. Economic growth. He's really not saying anything at all. This is not even, there's really very little stuff about what he's actually going to do. And he's going to talk about the border. And then we go back to crime and all that. So, you know, not a bad website. We know where he stands on issues, which is essentially, you know, generic Republican talking points. However, I'd like to see how he actually wants to do this, and that's what people are looking for when they go to a campaign website, apart from the whole contribute and shop and buy merchandise, you know. I mean, there's all that, and that's fine for a campaign website, but, you know, Larry, you could be doing a better job, man, so... Also, here's his interview with Tucker. So, anyway. Oh, and biography. I guess we can read his biography if we want. Although, to be fair, this guy is really probably not going to make it to the debate stage, so we're not going to really focus on him a whole lot. I just wish he was a little bit more policy, like what we're actually going to do, because people like to know what their leaders want to do. So, yep. Nikki Haley. I'm pretty sure this campaign website also has pretty much nothing on it. We can scroll down here. This is just like signing up, what you want to do. Donate, volunteer, shop, events, veterans for Nikki, women for Nikki. Yeah, women for Nikki. I mean, she's already going to do probably really well with women, so I don't know. Here's some like articles or things that she's written, I guess. But there's not any issues page, and that's kind of a problem. Your site sucks, Nikki. It sucks. Okay? Will Hurd. This site may be the just the most pathetic site ever. Although no, I take that back. That's Chris Christie's. But on the issues, so about Will, we can read about Will. Gosh darn it. We can read about Will. He's dedicated to a better America. Yeah, yada yada yada. He's been involved in the most pressing national security issues challenging the country. Okay, that's a good thing to run on at least. Protecting the nation. Good policy over politics. And he's running on how strong he is when it comes to bipartisanship. Sure, that's fair. Continuing his work. Okay, yeah, sure, fine. That's kind of it though. I mean, there's really not that much to read here. Read the blog and the media, we don't really care. On the issues, this is the worst part. I think Hurd running as like I was part of the CIA. That could be a good thing to run on. I think he's running on decent stuff, maybe sometimes, like, for example, what was it? He wanted to run on, like, the whole, like, we need to prepare children for jobs that don't exist right now, but will in the future. That's a decent thing to run on. At least he's not Chris Christie. Chris Christie is literally running on I'm against Trump. And Will Hurd's running on I'm against Trump and I care about some issues. So, I mean, there is a difference. Anyway, I need to stop talking about Chris Christie. I think he lives in my head rent free. Politics is about people. Yeah. Okay. New family values. I don't care where you are, who you are, where you live. You want to be able to put food on your table, a roof over your family, and to ensure the people you love are healthy and happy. New family values are about ensuring we increase access to healthcare while decreasing its cost, providing our seniors with quality care and compassion, and treat our kids like they are our future. Okay, kind of vague, Will. You need to improve this a lot. Increase access to healthcare, sure, but like what legislation are you going to do for that? We need a little bit more, Will. Technology. Technological change we're going to see in the next 30 years is going to make the change we saw in the last 30 years look insignificant. We must be prepared to take advantage of technology before it takes advantage of us. Okay, I mean, interesting to run on technology, but I don't think there are enough Republican voters concerned about technology, so I think you got a poor talking point there. That's not really something most people are focusing on, but heck, you're bringing something new to the table, so what do I care? Also, you're really not talking about how you're actually going to do any of this. Education. We have income inequality because we have education inequality. We have to prepare our kids for jobs that don't exist today. See, that's something I actually agree with, but he's not saying how he's going to do it. Jobs in the economy. American economic and military dominance is no longer guaranteed. Prosperity is a product of empowering people, not the government. To move people up the economic ladder, we need free markets and not democratic socialism. We have benefited from the brain drain from every other country in the world. We need to benefit from the hard-working drain as well. And we need immigration policy in place that puts strong disincentives from coming here illegally so we have much more manageable immigration system. Yeah, so tell us what you're going to do. USA foreign policy. We need a foreign policy that inspires fear in our enemies and causes our friends to love us. Yeah, sure. How about you tell us what you're going to do as a president with foreign policy? I want to know what President Hurd is going to look like, not just we can accomplish big things. Also, I don't think Republicans are going to like you using words like racist, misogynist, or homophobe. Especially homophobe. Like, jerk is fine, racist, you can make an argument for. But homophobe, like, that's just. Republicans are going to see that as a leftist talking point. So I don't think you're really winning anybody over with that either. And yeah, this is not a terrible website, but let's be real. He's not actually saying what he's going to do. I think if you're going to run for president, you should actually know what you're going to do. So, and he just apparently doesn't. He just stands for these values without actually saying how he's going to carry them out. So, I don't know. Asa for America. I do like the logo, but it's just an old white guy, so I don't really see why he's that appealing. You're going to have a good campaign website if you want us to believe you. American Energy, let's read about this. Americans deserve plentiful, affordable energy options, and we should not be beholden to the threats and whims of foreign adversaries for our energy needs. As president, I will pursue policies that make our great nation energy independent. What policies? At least we know what you're standing for, but can you tell us what policies? This is driving me crazy. Unity. Today, we have a nation divided, and we must return to what brings us together and not what pulls us apart. That is why it's so important that we seek out leaders that bring up the best in America rather than those that give in to our worst instincts. I believe that we must respect dissent and stand together on the common ground of freedom, equality, and fairness. So what policies are you going to pursue? What legislation will you be pursuing? And what messaging will you be doing to be able to bring across this unity aspect? You got to tell us. I could go on. Our nation's founders understood that rights are not given by man, but rather bestowed upon us by our Creator. Yeah, sure, that's fine, but like, you're not like telling us I will stand up to religious. I don't know. I will not. I will. Like, he's not really saying I'm going to stand up for religious freedom. He's just saying this is what our nation's founders said. So, kind of vague there too. Healthcare. He's not saying anything about what he's going to do for healthcare because Republicans never do. Infrastructure. is a long past time for a nationally robust infrastructure package. Okay, you actually said it. Congratulations. Yeah, I'm actually glad. You said something that you would push in Congress. Every American feels the strain of an overburdensome tax code. We must reform our tax code nationally and lower taxes just like I did in Arkansas. Yeah, that's fair. You're actually saying what you're going to do. Criminal justice. We can make America a safer nation by providing our men and women in blue with the resources they need to enforce our laws and protect our families. Sounds good, but can you tell us what you're going to do for that? Russia. We must be tough on Russia. Yeah, that's what everybody says. Hold China accountable. China needs to answer the tough questions surrounding COVID-19. I'm prepared to ask those tough questions and hold China accountable. Hey, nice. But can you tell us like what you're going to do to China to make them regret the whole COVID thing? Because most Republicans actually believe COVID, is seriously China's problem and they're kind of to blame for it. Heck, I think a lot of Democrats believe that, honestly. So I feel like if you're going to actually say we're going to hold China accountable, you need to say what you're going to do against China to be tough on them. Like, not just say, I'm going to be tough. I'm going to be tough. Strong national defense. I will never stop fighting for those who selflessly serve our nation. Okay, fine. Vague, but okay. Border security. We must send a different message. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you certainly got some good policies there. Oh wait, I didn't read any of them because you didn't put any in this whole big page of policies. Okay, you're talking about the issues, but you're not actually saying what you're going to do in Congress. You don't have this big plan, okay? You need a big plan if you're running for president. So, I'm sorry, Asa, but not the greatest website. You could have done better. Perry Johnson. I actually admire this guy for a number of reasons. I'm not going to get into that right now. We're going to look at his issues page. This guy has a phenomenal issues page. He has a great plan called the 2 cents plan, where he wants to cut spending by taking 2 cents out of every dollar of discretionary spending. Which, sounds pretty reasonable, right? That's actually a plan. He's saying what he's going to do. So good job there. He discusses inflation. He says he's going to end spending. Okay, that's specific. And he would support supply side policies that will ensure adequate production of goods without increasing prices. And he again mentions the 2 cents plan. Energy. He talks about gosh, I'm not going to read all this. He says he's going to repeal Biden's climate executive orders upon becoming president and working with lawmakers and industry leaders to ensure that we are on the forefront of the rapidly evolving renewable resource industry. He says he would finish the Keystone Pipeline. He would eliminate the backlog and red tape for mining, shale production, and natural gas export facilities. That's specific stuff. Somebody knows how to run their campaign website. Border security. Of course, this is going to be more generic talking points, but I mean, just so long as he's actually saying what he's going to do. He's going to build the wall. He's going to implement a zero tolerance policy for legal immigration. He's going to create a pathway for citizenship and redirect funds. That's specific stuff. Nice job, Perry. Fentanyl crisis. He is going to crack down on China, he says, if you read his page. And he's also going to secure the border. I think he said, yes, instead it was being produced and smuggled in through the Mexican border. So he's going to add manpower at the border. That's all very specific stuff. Social Security and Medicare. This guy, let's see, what does he say? He wants to save them. Maybe not the most specific there, but he's a little bit vague. But that's okay. He's not being vague all the time, so I appreciate the fact that for the most part he's being pretty solid. Simplifying the tax code. This is a good one. He wants to reform the tax code. He wants to reduce taxes, simplify the system, and fix this mess. We need to cut rates across the board, eliminate special deductions, and reduce the number of tax brackets. He says he will reduce the current brackets from 7 to 2. Currently, Americans pay at the rate of 37, 35, 32, 24, 22, 12, and 10%. I propose 2 new brackets of 28, and 15%. People at all income levels will benefit and be incentivized to work more. That's solid. This guy actually does know what he's talking about. I'm pretty sure. He's a businessman, okay? National security. He says, I will strengthen our defense by cutting waste, improving our audits and controls, and streamlining our processes so we can do more with 98% of the defense budget than we ever did before with 100%. So, again, a little bit vague, but he is saying what his policy is, which I appreciate. Education, he says, I propose ending the Department of Education. Ooh, that's pretty strong. And he's going to, he says the federal dollars spent on primary and secondary education amounts to less than 8% of the total spent on our children. I propose that we take that money, grant it to the states to how they need in their schools, and then shutter the massive building in DC that houses the thousands of bureaucrats who've made our education both worse and more expensive. So he has a reason for believing in what he's believing. And then when it comes to the FBI, this is the sort of stuff that's going to appeal to Trump people. Trump people are going to like what he has to say about the corruption and politicization of the FBI. And he says he's going to eliminate the FBI, implement a zero tolerance policy for religious discrimination and anti-Christian investigatory practices. He's going to appoint an attorney general who will implement the 2 cents plan, audit and evaluate the mission and practices of the other law enforcement arms of the DOJ, and he will direct all federal law enforcement interviews and interrogations to be recorded to ensure the constitutional rights of Americans are protected. So this is a solid issues page. I think he has a great campaign website. We know where he stands on the issues. You can watch these videos. He says where he stands on social issues. And sure, he might not be strong on things like foreign policy necessarily, but we know where he stands on the vast majority of things and what his plan is for the country. And that's why I do like this guy's campaign website. This guy could actually be the guy I vote for in the primary. We'll just have to see. Mike Pence. There's pretty much nothing on this website. You can read the about page, I guess. Mike Pence, Karen Pence. But yeah, there's no issues page on this site at all. Next. Vivek Ramaswamy. This guy is Policy Vision. Okay, here we go. America First 2.0. He's basically running as a Trump clone. We all know this, but you can read all about this. He does actually have stuff that he wants to talk about. He wants wants to declare independence from communist China, dismantle managerial bureaucracy, unleash the American economy by drill fracking, incentivize schools. Some of this is a little bit vague, but I think most of this is all right. How long is this video anyway? This video is getting long. Anyway, we're almost done, so it's fine. Revive American national identity. Secure the southern border. End affirmative action. Protect American children. Make political expression a civil right. And end unlawful DEI indoctrination. Withhold federal funding for cities that refuse to protect Americans from violent crime. A little bit of specifics here and there, but this is slightly vague. It could be a little bit better. Tim Scott. Tim Scott, where is the policy on here? Oh wait, we have to click the 3 dots, obviously. Tim's record. So this is kind of what he's running on, I guess you could say. He wants to expel illegal immigrants, fully fund the construction of the wall, end Biden's catch and release, recognize drug cartels as terrorists. He wants to get rid of the indoctrination in schools. If you believe there is, he's going to want to get rid of that. Conservative values and God-given rights. Yeah, kind of vague there. National security. He wants to build the military, fund the military, law and order. He wants to increase penalties for criminals and in sanctuary cities, support law enforcement, which I assume means funding, but, he didn't specify, so we got to assume things. Unleash American energy and innovation by removing burdensome red tapes, cutting taxes, and expanding on an all-of-the-above energy approach. He wants a Made in America agenda, and he wants live within our means by reining in the left's out-of-control spending, ending earmarks, political favors, and making tax cuts permanent. So, mostly specific here. However, he's not the most specific. The most specific probably goes to Trump. And I'm not saying this because I like Trump or anything. I'm saying this because this guy literally put out a video for pretty much every single policy he wants to enact while in office. You can scroll down, just keep going. There's a second page. He's just got a list of these videos about what he stands for, and you can see what legislation he would use while in office. So I would say of all these sites, Trump is probably has the best site, just because he actually is being specific on what legislation he's going to enact. Build the greatest economy in history, fair trade for the American worker, and some of this is a little bit more vague, but it's really his videos, his Agenda 47 videos that one would really want to watch if they wanted to see what Trump actually wants to do while in office. But yeah, some of these websites, some of them suck. Some of them kind of vague. Some of them, well, somewhat specific, but, could use some work. And some of them, you actually do know what people want to do and what they're going to do, and the fact they have an actual plan. And the only 2 people I'd say fit that are probably Trump and Perry Johnson, because, they actually have issues listed, and they discuss what they're going to do to unleash energy dominance and all this stuff. So anyway, that's the end of this video. Sorry this was a long one. It's kind of my fault for talking so much. See you next time. Subscribe, do all that stuff. Bye.